Welcome to another edition of Dead Air Live. Tonight we have such a wonderful guest. Her name is Dorothy Torrey. Welcome, Dorothy.
Hi, it's great to be here, Jojo.
Oh,
Thank you.
We're so happy that you're here. Now, Dorothy is a experienced health coach. You do workshops.
Yes.
You help people balance their state of mind, their bodies, through an alkaline way of health.
Yes.
And you're amazing. I want you to tell us your life story because that's how I met you, when you told your life story, and I just went, oh my goodness, Dorothy is amazing. The world needs to hear your story and how you basically cleared yourself of most illnesses.
Okay. Thank you very much. Well, first of all, I was born in a family where girls were not important. We had my mother and father, wonderful people, entrepreneurs, business people, hardworking Polish people. There were 3 girls, and then finally my brother came, and he was 11 months younger than I. And there was no one ever taking care of me or wanting me. I was always in the way, because now there was a little baby, and my 2 older sisters, well, they didn't want to take care of anyone. So there wasn't a lot of nurturing for me, and I wasn't encouraged. I used to stutter a great deal when I was little. The kids around the corners used to come over and play with my other sisters, and then they used to go like this to their friends. What is she saying? I don't understand what she's talking.
Oh, that's not nice.
You know, and so there was no self-esteem, feeling good about myself. I used to hide behind the doors and not come out because I thought that I was being made fun of. And so I didn't have any self-esteem or that it was good being a girl or anything like that. So,
well, that's all changed now.
Yes, tremendously.
You have done the 180. You're Miss Positive Self-Esteem, and you're a leader. People look up to you. Dorothy's here. Everywhere you go, people say, wow, what an impressive woman. You make such a huge impact. But continue your story.
Okay. So, I went to a great all-girls high school, and I was surprised. I was asked to be the president of the class. Okay, and however, I saw because of that lack of self-esteem, when it was time to really do things, I didn't feel like I had it within me. And so towards the end, the vice president really had to take over because no one was saying to me at home, boy, that's great, geez, you know, keep on doing, keep on doing. I was never spoken to or heard. So went away to college and so forth, but I met a man, and he was married 3 times.
Wow, that's a lot.
That's a lot,
Yeah.
Okay? And he was 29 and I was 24. And he asked me to marry him.
Just like that?
Well, I used to work in the summertime at a store a couple doors down from his shop. He was in the antique and fine art business. And, you know, but he told me that he needed me. And I overlooked everything else.
That's all a guy has to say. When you're young, we believe it.
Oh, yes. And also his mother said, oh, my son needs you, you know. And I found found that person that needed me, and I was going to give that person everything.
Ooh.
And
you lost yourself with this person.
I got very sick in that relationship.
Of course you did. You gave away all your power.
Everything. Because
Oof.
everything, well, there wasn't me, because I always thought that he was much smarter than I. What do I know? And he was in business. I thought my father would love him because he was a businessman. And he happened to be an alcoholic, but more than that, he was also a sociopath, and he was also involved with black magic. And so I got scared to death of him. Just because he was a very violent man, but because he said that he needed me, I thought, oh, well, someone needs me. And I didn't have the skills to be able to distinguish anything.
How did you get out of that relationship, that controlling relationship? You got sick in that relationship, you had no self-esteem in that relationship, and you were being controlled. What changed? What was the pivotal point?
The pivoting point was that I met someone who was in the AA program. And I was talking to him, and I didn't want him to know that I had a husband that was an alcoholic, sociopath, and also most abusive. So he said, you may want to go to a Al-Anon program. And so I started to go to Al-Anon. And that's when I found out how much stinking thinking, how sick I was, how crazy I was. I never looked at myself. And so what I say is that Al-Anon is not my whole life, but it made my life whole. And I went to many Al-Anon meetings. I did a lot of counseling, and I started to work on myself. I found a lot of people that accepted me just the way that I was.
They loved you, just the way you were.
Yeah.
So how did that change you from going from, as we would say, an acid state, a state of being toxic, to a state of being alkaline, which is who you are. You are an alkaline coach. You bring people into balance. That is the key to everything that you do. You're the alkaline queen, Dorothy Torrey.
Well, it was because of being in this relationship that the cancer started, because I started lying and not being myself, hiding. My parents did not have my address or telephone number for 4 years, even though I lived a half an hour away from them.
Oh my goodness,
and everything was always about hiding things. And the life was very violent. It was very dysfunctional. And so I'm not very proud of that time. But
okay, but what did you do?
What I found out is that I was a very sick person, and because there were other people in Al-Anon that accepted me the way that I was, sure, I started to be able to look at myself with compassion. I was able to look in the mirror and say, I can now start to love the person who I am becoming. And that was the beginning of coming home to myself, of reconnecting to myself. I didn't like going to Al-Anon meetings all the time, but there was something there that they had that I didn't have. And that was the beginning of my working on myself. And I also decided to get a divorce because I saw that this was way too sick of a situation, and that I would not get out of that relationship alive if I didn't
If you stayed. I bet it was very hard to get out of that relationship. For him to let you go.
Okay, well, thank goodness at that time that I was able to go on welfare food stamps, and I didn't even know anything about that. But through counseling, I was able to get out of a relationship and start working on myself.
Well, you have such a great story to inspire others, because as we go through this program, people are going to find out where you are now. And as I said, you just blow everybody away. Everyone that meets you. You were at my home the other night, and people are still talking about you. They're talking about you because you are a bright light in many people's lives. and you're spreading the love, and you're spreading how we can, as you say, don't use the word heal, but to clear ourselves and to stay into that positive frame of mind. But one of the places where I met you a couple of years ago. You were doing a public speaking engagement, and I met you in Georgetown, Massachusetts, and I went, oh my goodness, she's amazing. And there's a clip of you talking to a big forum of people, and I would love for that clip to, I would love for us to see that clip if we could. So,
okay.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Interconnecting the mind, body, and spirit. Be quiet, be open and willing, and listen. I absolutely did not want to look at my stinking thinking at all. I couldn't look at myself in the mirror because I had no self-esteem. I never talked in the public. I used to stutter. I was raised in a family that I was a girl, so what do you know? You know nothing. And always to not ask any questions, just sit there and be quiet. So if someone told me to do something, I did what they said. I never had discernment. I never thought of having intuition, any sense of any type of wisdom whatsoever. So from going to Alkaline, and by the way, Alkaline is an organization for people that are affected by other people's drinking. I went to many of the meetings, and there I learned to look, to see, and to tell the truth about things. How can we tell the truth about things when we're hurting so much and we want to look good to people on the outside and we don't want them to know who we are? Because if they knew who we are, we're so afraid that they won't like us. So any place that I went, I always looked good, and I always at least put on a false smile, but that wasn't me. So today, I am more than willing to look, to see, and to tell the truth about things.
Talking about the truth about things, you were talking to me about the power of words. Tell us about that, because you said words can make us or break us.
Absolutely. I never thought that I could look at my words or that I could stop and be present to what I am saying. Mm-hmm. And today I am able to reframe my words. There is not in my vocabulary the words try, hard, difficult.
Yeah, you always say that. Don't say try. Okay. Don't use the word try. Why? Why?
Okay, because it's a word loaded with so much negativity. It means that we're always struggling, always trying.
Oh,
we never get there. And also the law of attraction. When we say something is hard, something is difficult, what we are doing is actually attracting that.
So what should we say?
Okay.
Give me a reversal. What should we say? Instead of saying, I'm going to try to do that, I'm
in the process of learning that. I am doing that. I am willing to do that. But to stop and to become conscious of what we are doing, our vibration changes. It raises our energy level.
Oh, so that's the whole thing about being the alkaline coach.
Yes.
So you're saying to be in a positive state, say things that are positive, and keep away from the things that are negative.
Yes, like some people say, how is your cancer? And I go, my cancer? no, it's not my cancer. I don't want it. I said, there's a diagnosis that was given to me,
right,
but it's not mine.
It's not mine.
And I don't live my life out of a diagnosis.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
It's not something that I carry around with me. Okay. And it's like also, they say, oh, I heard that you fought cancer. And I said, no, I never fought cancer. I said, how would you like to be in a fight? I said, you know, it's acid. It doesn't feel good. No one likes how they feel after a fight.
So what do you say?
Okay, I had a diagnosis that was given to me by others. And so that's what I say. And so what I say is that I embraced and looked at it and asked, what do you have to teach me? And made peace with it.
Beautiful. Okay, so another thing that you do, and I'm just amazed at all the things that you do, is you belong to a team of people that gives health assessments.
Yes.
You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. They are strategic health assessments.
Right.
These are 6 different tests, okay, that help people to look deeper into to get an inside view of what's going on inside of their body before any symptoms or diagnoses show up.
Okay.
Okay, so we have the live blood, okay, and here people actually see the condition of the red blood cells. And the condition of your red blood cells is the condition of your health. Okay. So a finger prick is taken, okay, and the blood drop is put on a slide and studied under a microscope, and you're right there, okay, by the microscopist, and you see it on the monitor, the condition, if it's filled with bacteria, yeast, fungi, and mold.
Okay, I think we're going to see a clip on that, and do we have that clip ready for the health assessment? We'd love to see that. Thank you.
These are detoxing foot baths, and the way they work is they're inducing a small microcurrent and radio frequency into the water. And what it does is it kind of awakens the meridians in your body so that your organs can detox themselves. So it gives them an energetic path to send the toxins into the water. Runs for about 23 minutes, 13 minutes in one direction, and then it reverses polarity and hits the different meridians for the second 10 minutes. It's not used to diagnose anything, it's strictly therapeutic. You'll hear some people talk about watercolor, that they may mean something. We don't prescribe to that at all. What we have here, this is a picture of a column of skin looking down in. So when you get a sunburn, here's where it turns red. Right. And when you hear people talk about sun damage, this is where it starts, is down on the dermal layer. Okay. So a regular camera is going to take a picture of here. UV picture takes of down here on the dermal layer. So that's where we're going to take a picture. So here's a UV photo. This is color, and this is a UV. What we're looking for is the darker dots. So the darker they are, and the more congregated they are. Exactly.
Oh, it's going to be dark.
So, and here's a baby, a 4-year-old, a color, a black and white, and UV photo, so you can see how things really jump out there. Here's a father and son, and you can tell that they were not built to take the sun. Yeah. He's got sun damage on his lips, and 9-year-old is headed the same way. But this lady here is a little bit more built for the sun. You get like 3 or 4 little dots on her face, and that's it. So if you're a person that has a lot of damage, there's a number of things you can do. This is one option. It's a lotion that you can put on. And what this does is it goes down to the dermal layer, and it helps to remove the damaged skin cells so that as the new ones are forming, they'll form as a healthy skin cell. Okay. And here's a lady that's using the product. And these photos are about 6 months apart. These blocks down here are these blocks up here. Yeah. So you can see like this dark area here, how it started to lighten and fade away. And if you looked at this one damaged cell here, and you look at it here, you can see how it started to, it shrunk, and yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's kind of how it works. Okay. So today what we found is a few little dots. You can see these little dark dots here beside the nose, a few on the tip of the nose, and some up by the hairline. So the product that you're using as a sunscreen is working really well, and what you have for sun damage is pretty minimal.
So the two assessments that I'm doing is the live blood analysis, so just a little finger prick, and we're going to take a look at how your diet and lifestyle are affecting your overall health over the past 4 months.
Okay.
The other part of it is the A1C, which is the diabetes screening, and that is also an average of the past 4 months. So one little prick, and we'll see what's going on. Healthy, balanced blood should look like this, nice and round and well separated.
We wish.
I know, we wish is right. The plasma, which is that water-like substance in between, should be clear. So I'm guessing you're familiar with the pH balance of the body and acids and how we're supposed to be nice and alkaline in order to maintain that health. What happens in an acidic environment, we can start to see a growth of things like yeast, bacteria, fungus, mold, acid crystals, and things like that. So basically, we're going to take a look at the overall health of your blood and the plasma today. These are some profiles that we can see in the blood. We're going to rate them on a scale of 0 to 3, where 3 is heavy. So if you have a lot of 3s and 2s in detoxification, which you might because you've pulled all this junk into your blood to be eliminated, so your blood's not going to look pretty, but that's fine because this is your baseline. We're taking a first look. That your elimination organs might be a little overwhelmed right now. And your immune system, for that matter, because they're going to have to keep up with the demand of the stuff that's in the blood.
Right.
All right? So I'm going to have you take your left hand. You're going to give me the peace sign just like this in your lap. Perfect. All right. First drop is for the diabetes screening. So this is immersion oil. This is just going to let me look right at the blood without scratching my lens. So now you can look right at my computer screen. Your blood's gonna come into focus in a couple seconds. At the moment, you can see it's very stacked on top of each other.
Yeah.
And that's normal for many reasons. You said you're detoxifying, so one of the things that you're doing while you're detoxifying is you're pulling out years and years of built up acids that you have in your tissues and organs, and you're pulling it into the blood. Now it's your job to eliminate them via, peeing, pooping, sweating, basically.
That's all happening.
Right. So the reason we see stacking is that it's acids in the bloodstream that are affecting the electrical charge in the blood cells, so they are clumping.
We're going to put this meter, a light meter, onto Tom's index finger. And this will measure the autonomic nervous system and how he relates to stress happening, long-term stress and short-term stress. Okay, Tom, I'm going to ask you to sit back in your chair, relax, feet unfolded, and I'm going to put this on your index finger. And if you can put your your hands on your lap. Now this test is 3 minutes. Okay, I'm going to not to move, please, and not to talk. And we're going to preview the light waves that are happening. And Tom, what most people do, they close their eyes for 3 minutes because then people going by will not talk to you. They know you're engaged. Okay, so.
Looks pretty close.
Okay, we're looking to see if the light waves are in sync. Are they in sync, Catherine?
Pretty good to me.
Okay, so we will start now.
Okay, here we go.
For 3 minutes.
Stay relaxed.
So now for 3 minutes, Tom will be still, not moving, not talking, and the machine is calculating what is happening within his body in regards to the autonomic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system is composed of 2 things, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. The sympathetic can be compared to the gas pedal of your car, as if you're always on the gas pedal, and the parasympathetic is your brake pedal. You want that to be imbalanced, because if you're always going, you feel stressed out, you get fatigued. So we're looking at the balance of these 2 components of the autonomic nervous system. and this will tell us about the plaque buildup in the vessels and the overall health of the cardiovascular system. Tom, I'm going to ask you again to relax in that seat, okay, not to move nor talk, and this one will only be for a minute and a half. Your overall cardiovascular system is above normal. Now, over here, this is age we just adjusted to other people that are the same age. You're 52.
Right.
So with all the other people, what is normal out there?
Nothing.
Well, obesity,
Right.
okay, cardiovascular disease, and diabetes. So I don't know about you, but I don't want to be normal. And so you're above normal. You're out of that. So that's very good to know. Also, the strength of your heart is above normal, which is great. Okay, and your tension, okay, this is the elasticity of your blood vessels. Because you have the one here and no plaque, you have elasticity. Okay, they can, let's say, stretch, okay, which is great. You don't have stiffness. Wonderful to know. Over here, this is the ability of your blood to move in and out of the vessels.
Okay.
And that's above normal. That's great. And look, your heart rate is 70. That's a good heart rate.
Okay.
So congratulations
Thank you.
on what you're doing. This is awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, so over here, wow, okay. The autonomic nervous system is composed of two things, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. The sympathetic is your gas pedal,
Right.
and the parasympathetic is your brake pedal.
Okay.
I haven't seen this for a long time, especially a teacher of special needs. You must be doing some wonderful things. That's great. Okay, that's normal. It's in balance. Okay, it's working around. Okay, and also, okay, the autonomic nervous system, the balance. Okay, right now your parasympathetic nervous system is more dominant. That just means that you are using more of the brake pedal. Okay, but it's not highly out of balance. Okay, it's right here, and it's in the little bit in the high normal. So so that is great to know. Now, how is long-term stress?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, I overheard you say in the other room that you had some health challenges.
I used to be almost 300 pounds. back in April.
300 pounds.
Close to it. I wouldn't get on the scale when I was getting that close. I wouldn't go near it.
Okay.
Had a 47-inch waist, 52 chest. I started a meal plan and working out in April.
Okay.
And I've lost just about 70 pounds so far.
Right.
And 11 inches in my waist.
You see the results?
Okay.
Okay, I mean in here, which is superb.
Right.
Okay, over here, you've had long-term stress. That 300 pounds stresses out the body, okay? And you lost 70 pounds, okay, which is awesome. But look over here, your ability over here, I just want to, your present time stress is good. Okay, so this was long-term and this is your present time, okay? It's good. Okay, you're working out, you're balancing, and that showed up here, what's happening. Okay, so
this is actually showing a history of the past?
Yes, long-term stress. Okay, present-term stress. And this is fatigue. You're getting good sleep?
Trying.
Okay, so you're making wiser choices more often.
Well, I go to bed early and I also was diagnosed with apnea.
Okay.
And I sleep with CPAP.
Okay, so you're getting better sleep. Wonderful. Okay, your heart rate is normal. You're 69, which is a good heart rate. The electrical activity for the cardiovascular to receive the signals is good.
It's good to know.
No, yeah. So your decision, your commitment to yourself, to your life, and to other people who you relate to, okay, is showing up.
Great.
Okay, so thank you.
Thank you. Everything I've done since April to change me is working. So I'm excited.
Dorothy, this was fantastic. I did one of these health assessments, and wow, what an eye-opener. And since I've been on the alkaline lifestyle myself, my blood cells were pretty good. But you said I was under a lot of stress, which I'm not surprised because I get very excited about things. But what I want to know about you is, how did you embrace the alkaline lifestyle? How did you go from acid to alkaline?
Well, it was because of a diagnosis of suicidal depression during a time in my life for about 6 years, and I was on medication and I felt absolutely horrible. I couldn't believe that my life was over and that I didn't have any energy, that I was just overweight, dead. I was eating mainstream foods.
Sugar, wheat.
Okay, what they consider a very good, healthy, mainstream diet.
You mean the food pyramid? What
Yes.
they tell us is healthy. But now they're telling us it's not so healthy.
Right. And so one day I just thought my life was over, and I called up a friend of mine, and she said, Dorothy, I was just introduced to an alkaline green product. And I said, and she wanted me to
green. You mean
green powder? And she said,
okay.
And she says, try this. I was reluctant because I tried so many things, nothing worked. I went to many different doctors. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. I had 3 different psychologists and psychiatrists and different medications. And nothing was working, and I was just exhausted, and I thought that if I accepted my condition, then maybe life would get easier. And this was the day that I was at the bottom of the well, and my friend introduced me to alkalinity. The day that I started putting greens into water, I never needed another medication, and that was in the summer of 2002. July 2002.
That's not that long ago.
No, 7 years ago. And so I started studying acid-alkaline balance. And
where did you go to study this?
Okay.
Is there like a school for acid? I mean, I know if I want to find out about alkaline, I talk to you. But where did you go 7 years ago?
Okay, I used the books, Dr. Robert O. Young's books.
Right, okay.
Okay, The pH Miracle, Dr. Gabriel Cousins.
Right.
I ran out to the Tree of Life and I worked in the kitchen so that I could learn more about fresh food, live
food preparation.
Yes, and live food. Okay, so, but you know, I only knew this much, and I thought that I would never get a diagnosis of cancer because cancer doesn't live in an alkaline environment. Dr. Otto Warburg, who received 2 Nobel Prizes, says that cancer doesn't grow in an alkaline environment. But lo and behold, in February 2003, I came down with I was given a diagnosis of breast cancer.
Okay, now how can that happen if you are alkaline? I mean...
Okay, I was just starting to understand, alkalinity. Just because I was putting alkaline, drinking alkaline water, just because I was having alkaline food, but my lifestyle and my thinking wasn't alkaline.
So you were like counterproductive. You were doing part of it, but not all of it.
Yes, and one has to look at the lifestyle, their thinking, and embracing all of the imbalances, not just the food. The food was very easy for me to do because when I went to the major Boston hospitals, and they told me that they wanted me to do either lumpectomy, mastectomy, radiation, chemo, and the drugs.
Right.
That was not an option for me. I said no, that I will follow the alkaline lifestyle.
So what did you do? When you said, okay, you weren't embracing it all, what did you do? How did you change your thinking?
Okay, what I did is that I just started to eat live food, green vegetables, all live food.
You weren't doing that before?
No.
You were doing a part of it?
I was doing mainstream health, which gives you your diagnosis, your medications,
Ooh.
your surgery, and assisted living and nursing homes.
Ooh.
So, okay.
It sounds like the road to hell.
It is. Okay, it is. So when I found out about acid-alkaline balance, and the day that I started, I never needed another medication for suicide or depression, and the negative voices in my head stopped just like that.
So do you think the medications were like all counteracting in your body and making your body like go berserk?
The medications just didn't feel good in my body at all. And yet that was the only thing given to me by traditional medicine.
I can't imagine you taking medication. You just don't look like a medication type of chick.
Well, I was at the bottom of my well. I mean, at the bottom, and my life was terrible. And so I was on the medication for 6 years.
Okay, so how? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
But it was through saying no to the traditional treatment for cancer and embracing, okay, my diagnosis. I don't even want to say my diagnosis. Embracing the diagnosis that was given to me, I started to learn. Okay, the day that I started alkalizing, the negative voices in my head stopped. Okay, I started alkalizing more. What happened? I started to feel better. So when you feel better, you make wiser choices. Okay, you feel calmer, you feel grounded, you're able to concentrate. What happens? The red blood cells inside of your body are not fighting with one another, being acid.
That's not good.
Yeah. So they're round with happy faces. And people used to come up to me and they would say, "What are you doing? You're not the same person." Okay. And I started doing a lot of reading, a lot of workshops, looking at the way that I was speaking, looking at my belief structure, looking at my stinking thinking, starting to embrace any imbalance. One of my biggest imbalances is staying up late.
Yes, I was going to ask you about that. As I like to stay up late, we all love to stay up late. So what's the deal about that? Is it because we're not keeping a certain clock going? We have to like stay regulated?
Okay, well, for me, it's an imbalance. And I am committed to embracing any imbalance and asking, what is this about? What I think it's about for me is that I like the adrenaline rush I get when I'm doing things and so forth and getting things done. Okay, when I stay up late to 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm addicted to it.
Oh.
It's an addiction, and I finally called it an addiction. And I said, "How does that feel?" That doesn't feel good. So if
that changes it.
Right, and if I don't want cancer, then I have to stop doing cancer.
Ooh. So you're saying that staying up late is acid.
It's acid. It's an imbalance. It doesn't support the body.
You're killing me, because I love staying up late.
Okay, the body loves its sleep between 10 and 2 o'clock. 10 o'clock at night to 2 o'clock in the morning.
But why? Why is 10 o'clock? What about people that work at night? You know,
they call that the graveyard.
Oh, because they're killing themselves.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're saying that you should... Someone told me a long time ago, this eye doctor saying to me, listen, if you go to sleep at 11 o'clock or before, every hour you go to sleep before 11 o'clock, it's like getting an extra hour of sleep. It's like equivalent to 2 hours. Now, I'm saying, why is he saying that? Is that true?
The body has a cycle, okay, when it does its most healing, when it detoxifies.
Oh.
Okay, so you're not supporting the body with detoxifying. You're not supporting the body to heal. The body is magnificently committed to healing you. There's not one cell in your body this morning that didn't get up and say, "I'm taking a 2-week vacation." There's not.
Are you sure about that?
No, there's
Okay.
not. You have 50 to 70 trillion cells. Every cell is committed to supporting you. and I ask, what do we do to support our body? What do we do to support ourselves?
You're really bringing it home.
Yeah, and I remember...
So what time do you go to sleep at night?
This is one of my addictions, okay? Okay, I am working at being in bed by 11 o'clock, and I generally get up about 6:30.
Okay, and you were going to say, I remember?
Okay, well, again, I remember Dr. Young saying to me, if you don't want cancer, stop doing it. Oh, and I have to, I remember I wanted to really, get very angry. I said, I'm not doing cancer. And I need to look at that, to be able to look at myself and to tell the truth about what I'm truly doing. And I've gotten to a point in my life that I am willing and open to look at everything in my life, to embrace it, to ask questions about it, and to make peace with it. And one of those is going to bed late, because I feel that I need to get this done, because I need to send out this email and do this and help people. And it's not really taking care of myself or loving myself.
Okay, so what if you're up late and you're in your nice comfy chair and it's about midnight and you fall asleep in front of the TV?
Okay, that's
for like an hour, and then you go to sleep.
Okay. It doesn't support the body.
It's not good.
It's not about good or bad. It's like I choose to be intimate with my cells, with my body, because my body is my vehicle. This is not a dress rehearsal. This is my life.
Right.
This is it. I don't change in this body for a new one, like a new car, 2010.
Right. You can't trade it in.
Can't trade it in.
Oh, right, okay.
Okay, so this is what I have. Yeah. And so am I willing to, like there's a book out, The Art of Extreme Self-Care. Am I willing to really take care and love who I am, this self-love, and give to myself this caring and nurturing? And today, I believe that it's not about health issues, it's about life issues, that we get our health concerns because we have life issues.
Well, on that note, we're going to talk about the water.
Ah, great.
And the water is a huge part of your life and my life, and the water, water is great. We have to all drink water, but there are different types of water, as we have just recently found out. There's water that's acid, there's water that's alkaline, there's water that's ionized, and I want you to tell us a little bit about the water, and then we're going to see a tape about the water and how we can actually change the structure of the water. I mean, there's so many things about water, so take it away, Dorothy.
Okay. Water is foundational. Okay. We wouldn't have a life without water. Okay. We wash the outside of our bodies with water. We wash our dishes. We clean our homes with water. How do we wash the inside of our bodies?
Oh, that's a good point.
Okay. The body needs at least 2.5 quarts of water a day, at least. Some people need up to 1 gallon or more. Okay. If we don't wash the inside of our body, how do we get rid of the toxins and the waste that has accumulated? Okay. Now, through looking at water and testing the oxidation reduction potential, and I can explain that later on, but looking at water, most of the water is contributing to our aging. It's oxidizing our bodies, okay? It's causing free radical damage, and we only use about 20% of the water that we drink because the molecules are, the clusters are so large, they're anywhere from 15 to, the last I've heard, even 90 molecules together in a cluster, so it can't get into the interstitial fluids.
So you're saying that if you drink the wrong kind of water, it doesn't permeate our cells. There's like, it's just too big if you drink the wrong kind of water.
Absolutely.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
And that's what you mean by microclustering. You get a whole bunch of molecules. But if you drink the right kind of water, the molecules are smaller and can permeate our cells and make them alive, and we feel great. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. And what it does, it penetrates into the cells. It penetrates deeper into the cells to do tissue repair and to release the toxins. Okay.
Can you use the analogy with the tennis balls being thrown against the screen? I love that.
Yes. So if you have tennis balls and you want to get them on the other side and you throw them through a screen, they won't go through.
Correct.
So you have to have small molecules, and that will go through the membranes of your cells. Okay, and that penetrates deeper to release the toxins, and you have to really flush out those toxins with water.
All right, so we have a water demonstration with Jim Rabb. Fantastic. Okay. He came to my house, and let's see what Jim has to say about the water.
Okay, great.
I guess I might as well take the opportunity to thank JoJo for having me come up, but more importantly, you will hopefully be thanking her at some point in time for having her expose you to this Kangen water. This is literally the best water on the face of the earth. The effects that it's had on people's health has been amazing. But what I want to do real quickly, before I get into the presentation, is address Rose's water. Belmont Springs, is that what it was? Okay.
No, it's Somerville.
I'm sorry, Somerville water. Somerville water, I believe, has chlorine and ammonia in it, which is chloramine. But what I put in, these drops are reagent. It will show if there's chlorine in the water or not. And just so you can see the color, you've got some chlorine in your water. When you shower, you're taking more chlorine through your skin than you would in 8 glasses of water, 8-ounce glasses. Potential hydrogen is what it means. And the higher the pH, every time you go up, when you go up from a 8.5 to 9.0, it's times 10, 8.5 to the 9.5. We've got 1,000 times more pH in the 9.5 than the 8.5. Now this chart shows pH levels from acidic to alkaline. This water here is just over neutral, just barely over neutral. Government regulations are that the water coming out of your tap has to be at least 7.0 or greater. Down in St. Louis, some of the waters are running 9.5 to 10.5, extremely strong, off the chart. But they're chemically induced either with lime or lye or other minerals or things are added to the water to bring up the pH. We can take water from a well, which is probably around a 7. Well water generally will come out around a 7. We can run well water through our unit and bring it up to an 11.5 pH. Or 9.5 without adding anything whatsoever to the water when the electrolysis process brings up a higher pH level. So the good news is this didn't turn yellow, but I can assure you that if they didn't treat it, it probably would be a little acidic. The other property of the water is that it's not microclustered, and I'll show you that with the water here because this is, again, Somerville water. So I'm going to dump these out. So we know we have chlorine and we've got a very low pH, just about neutral there. So this is the Somerville water through our machine, no chlorine. We pull heavy metals and some lead and a little bit of fluoride, but this is not a filter. It's an ionizer, a continuous ionizer and alkalizer. Fruit 2O. Do you drink this? Okay. Actually, I'd really like to I'm not going to test it for chlorine. I'm going to test it for the pH. My guess is it's going to be yellow.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
You don't think there's any chlorine?
It's extremely acidic. I know that, no, there's no chlorine in that. This is the last thing you want to be drinking.
Okay.
This is not good. This is very, very bad. And I'm not here to pick on anyone's water.
back in 2002, I was a dead woman. I've had suicidal depression, severe osteoarthritis, a prime candidate for 2 complete knee replacements, breast cancer, and a thyroid condition, and overweight, maybe 45 pounds overweight. I started studying alkalinity, and it changed my life. I'm an alkaline health coach, and I reversed my different diagnoses doing alternatives. I teach people alkalinity. I know how challenging it is for someone to be alkaline, and I know how challenging it is for me to maintain my health. I am so pleased that Jim came into my life because his friend saw an article, saw from the Sandwich Community School that I was teaching a course on the body knows best, acid-alkaline balance. And Jim gave me a call and came into my life. I'll be forever, ever grateful. Jim gave me a call on Friday afternoon, okay? I saw a very simple demonstration by his partner because he was out in Chicago on Tuesday. I came home and I took my organic tomatoes. That was a product of US, not Mexico. I put it in the 11.5 water that his friend gave me a sample of. And I was shocked at the amount of pesticides that came off because of the change in the color of the water. And I showed my husband. And the next morning he got up and he says, I figured out how we're going to get this unit. Please call up Jim. And I says, I know I'm going to make his day. So I called up. This water is my health insurance policy. It is the most important health ingredient that I put into my body. It is the most super health ingredient. I wouldn't be able to get the food and the nutrients to penetrate deeper into my body without this water. I wouldn't be able to repair the tissues in my shoulder. I went to see 2 orthopedic surgeons because of my shoulder. If I went like this, I'd go, oh, look at this. Okay, I go on my rebounder and I go like this. Okay, I have taken walks down around our beach. If I take one walk once a week or in 10 days, it takes me all that time to recuperate. I could take 4 walks, which is 2 miles, in 6 days all around my beach. So this is what I've experienced. My husband has experienced phenomenal. He's 17 years older than I, and his cardiovascular doctor told him that he didn't have to come back for at least another 6 months, and he was going there for every 3 months for the past 5 years. So she's amazed with what has happened. See, the body's been created to be alkaline. It's been created. So everything around us is acid. Our food is acid, our cell phones, our TV, the news, everything driving a car. So this is the most important thing we can put in our bodies.
Thank you, Dorothy. I had no idea. It was just by chance that Dawn was going to throw an article away, and she looked at it and went through, and I Googled Dorothy and found her story, and she mentioned something, and I wanted to share this with you. I meant to do this earlier. Dr. Otto Heinrich Warburg, I don't know if any of you ever heard of him, but in 1931 won the Nobel Prize for Medicine. He proved in 1931 that cancer will not exist in an alkaline environment. There's a huge industry out there treating people with cancer, with every treatment down the highway. We have had folks, and again, the water cures nothing, but we have had folks that have gone back to the doctor that are being treated in stage 2, stage 3, stage 4 cancer, and the doctor does not know what's going on. And if I may just read, and you can look him up, Dr. Otto Heinrich Warburg, The Root Cause of Cancer. And he does mention here that the blood's pH of 7.365, which really needs to be there. Cancerous tissues are acidic, whereas healthy tissues are alkaline. Water splits into H plus or H positive and OH negative ions. If there's an excess of H positive, it is acidic. If there's an excess of OH negative ions, then it is alkaline. And if you deprive a cell of 35% of its oxygen for 48 hours or more, it may become cancerous. Now, I'm sure that there are still people that could be alkaline that could have a situation, but we know that if you keep your body more alkaline than acidic, which is a challenge, certainly more so when you're eating raw foods to do that, I'd have to be at the table all day. This is the challenge. But when Dorothy found there was a method already there and proven to bring up the pH in the body simply by drinking water, good water, we have a much better chance of being healthier and being happier and just living a more complete life.
Dorothy, I think this is great. I got to tell you, since I've been drinking this alkaline water,
Yes.
my world has changed. I don't have any more pain in my knees. I don't have acid reflux. When I used to work out with my trainer, I used to get wicked leg cramps at night. Gone. I'm like pumping. I love the water. And when I stopped drinking it for 5 days, this particular water, my body was screaming for it. I was craving it. So there is something, as they say, in the water. Now, the interesting thing about this water is the people who live in France, is it Lourdes, France?
Yes.
They go out to the healing waters. Why? What is it about the healing waters? The waters are alkaline. The same water that I now have in my home. I am pumped up. So thank you. It's because of you that I'm drinking this water. So thank you, Dorothy. Dorothy, we have a few more seconds. What would you like to tell the world?
People don't think that they are capable of living an alkaline lifestyle.
Right.
They don't think that they're capable of changing or so forth because life has many challenges. Mm-hmm. I was a dead woman. I didn't have any self-esteem, nothing, okay? And I became coachable. I became supportable. And one of the best gifts that was given to me by the Creator was being open and willing to look, okay? To look and, yeah, take your skepticism, but be open and willing to look and to start to love myself and to take care of myself and embrace and make peace with myself and coming home to myself.
Thank you.
So that's what it is.
Thank you, Dorothy. Thank you so much for being here. You are such a joy.
Thank you.
And I hope the world has listened to you.
Thank you,
Alkaline
Jojo.
Queen.